Tonight, Troy University receives a big honor.
And an organization is making sure students stay safe during spring break. Stay tuned, Troy. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for March 5th, 2013. I am Caitlin Crow.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thanks for joining us this evening. Troy University has been ranked in the top 30 public universities in the South by U.S. News and World Reports magazine, and several of its programs have been recognized as leading online learning programs. The university was ranked 30 on the organization's top public schools listing and was included in the best regional universities list. In addition, the university's nursing and rehabilitation counseling programs were named to the U.S. News Best Grad Schools list. It was among the top 50 universities on the Best Online Baccalaureates Programs list. U.S. News also listed Troy among the best for its online graduate nursing, graduate education, and graduate business programs.
And a group of fraternity brothers walking to Panama City to raise money for Special Olympics are going to get some national exposure. The Brothers of Alpha Tau Omega participating in this year's Walk Hard fundraiser will be featured in a segment of the Travel Channel's documentary, Spring Break 24/7. The program highlights the spring break travels of college students. 12 ATO brothers will make the 140-mile hike from Troy to Panama City during spring break to raise money for the Special Olympics. The brothers plan a short send-off service from the Bibb Graves Quad Friday morning at 9 o'clock. The brothers expect to arrive in Panama City the following Wednesday.
And while the ATO brothers are participating in the Walk Hard program, the other Troy students may be planning on taking a trip to the beach to just relax for the week. And today, one Troy organization is wanting all students to be aware of spring break safety tips. Bailey Majors has the details.
With spring break right around the corner, Troy University's SAVE Project and Personal Counseling Office are offering Troy students tips on how to stay safe during spring break.
Basically, we're just trying to inform students about ways that you can protect yourself, ways that you can be proactive about your own safety, and how to, make the most out of your spring break while still not putting yourself at risk.
Peer educator Kimberly McCain says she thinks it's important for students to be aware of dangerous situations while on spring break, and encourages all students at Troy University to keep safety tips in mind while having fun.
If you have a bad feeling about something, follow your gut on that instinct. Make sure that you know your drinking limits. Make sure that you're aware of the people that you're around. Don't go anywhere with someone that you don't know or you don't trust.
McCain says, though it's important for students to be cautious of their surroundings during spring break, she says it's also important to keep safety tips in mind on a day-to-day basis.
It's important for students to be aware of how to stay safe because there are so many things that you can do to prevent bad situations from happening. Troy students, are worried about the different things that happen on campus, and at those times they, want safety information, but it's important to be proactive about your safety all year round.
Spring break starts March 11th and lasts until March 18th. Bailey Majors, Troy TrojanVision News.
And for more tips on ways to keep safe during spring break, you can contact the SAVE Project at 334-670-3700.
And while the SAVE Project was giving out general safety tips, another Troy organization was trying to help students stay safe in the sun. Greeks advocating the mature management of alcohol, or GAMMA, was giving out free samples of sunscreen and lip balm to students so they could practice sun safety during the upcoming spring break. One member says that all students need to practice sun safety during the break because the sun could become their worst enemy.
A lot of people don't realize that, you get sunburned or you get your lips, messed up, chapped real hard on the first day there from the sun. It's going to probably set a tone for the rest of your spring break. It's going to put it off onto a negative note. And also, this whole sun safety thing kind of turns serious when it comes into different things such as heat-related illnesses, heat strokes, dehydration, stuff like that. You don't want to cut one of your spring breaks short because of, something like that.
GAMMA's next event will be a banner competition tomorrow. And on Thursday, they will have a texting and driving simulator on the Barnes & Noble deck from 11 to 4.
And while you're out on the beach, you might want to protect your eyes, and another group is selling an item that could help you do that. Troy University's Freshman Forum is selling Troy Trojan sunglasses to help benefit the organization. The vice president of Freshman Forum says that the money raised from selling the glasses does not just affect the current Freshman Forum members, it will also help next year's freshmen.
We just wanted to come by to be able to help out Freshman Forum next year. We feel like, the freshman classes, they make Troy what they want to make it. And we feel like if the next year's class is able to have money to be able to contribute to helping other students make Troy what they want to make it, then it'll help out make our universities as a whole better.
The sunglasses are $2 each and will be on sale until next Thursday.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, the Alabama Education Association has filed suit to try to block Governor Robert Bentley from signing legislation providing tax credits to parents who move their children from failing public schools to private schools. The governor plans to sign the legislation this afternoon.
In Birmingham, an Alabama pastor accused of killing his wife and wounding his daughter is now out of the hospital and jailed on a murder charge. Gardendale police say Reverend Terry Greer was released from a hospital yesterday. He is charged in the death of his wife, Lisa Greer.
Also in Montgomery, a civil rights group that tracks extremist groups warns that President Barack Obama's tenure and the gun control debate after the Connecticut school shooting have led to surging numbers of anti-government patriot groups. The Southern Poverty Law Center reported the rising numbers today as it released its annual report on extremist groups.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, a special guest at the Troy baseball game helped push the Trojans to 2 straight wins. Find out who it was after the break.
Plus, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is on a mission to stop the spreading of a dangerous bacteria. Find out more next.
Resistant and potentially deadly strain of bacteria is spreading to hospitals all over the country, and the government is calling for action. I'm Marley Hall in New York with the latest coming up.
In an instant, everything we know can be taken away. I'm John LaRoquette, and as an actor, I've made a career on TV and performing on the Broadway stage. But is that what matters most? If I was suddenly disabled and couldn't take steps, couldn't I still act? Only abilities matter. Visit Kessler Foundation on Facebook and tell us your abilities. And go to KesslerFoundation.org, where only abilities matter.
Doctor and nurse.
I want to work in the NFL.
Troy University's College of Health and Human Services prepares students for high-demand careers of today and tomorrow. Careers offering attractive pay and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
My courses aren't just classwork. I've worked with the Department of Human Resources to put my skills to work with helping people. I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather be doing.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Caitlin Crow at the Global News Desk. Caitlin.
Well, U.S. lawmakers and UN diplomats are looking for ways to punish North Korea after its latest nuclear test, while the rough nation is ratcheting up its rhetoric against the U.S. Tara Merzner has the latest from Washington.
North Korea is threatening to cancel the 1953 ceasefire that ended the Korean War. North Korea says it is fighting back against UN sanctions that have hit the rogue nation as punishment for its nuclear weapons tests. At the UN on Tuesday, diplomats from the U.S. and North Korea's most powerful ally, China, agreed to take the sanctions to the next level.
This resolution targets the illicit activities of North Korean diplomatic personnel, North Korean banking relationships, illicit transfers of bulk cash, and new travel restrictions.
Here in Washington, lawmakers are weighing additional steps the U.S. government can take to pressure North Korea to end its nuclear weapons program. At a House hearing Tuesday morning, lawmakers examined how criminal activity, such as drug trafficking and counterfeiting, helps North Korea fund its weapons program.
We must go after Kim Jong-un's illicit activities like we went after organized crime in the United States.
While North Korea has isolated itself from the world, its new leader, Kim Jong-un, hosted former NBA star Dennis Rodman last week. The White House dismissed the visit as a publicity stunt.
Instead of spending money on celebrity sporting events to entertain the elites of that country, the North Korean regime should focus on the well-being of its own people.
Rodman says the North Korean dictator wants President Obama to call him. Tara Merchiner for CBS News, Washington.
The Cardinals of the Catholic Church have begun another day of formal meetings to discuss the qualities they are looking for in the next pope. But before they can move on to who they believe can lead the church, they need to know what kind of problems he will face. Daniel Nottingham has a story from the Vatican.
Cardinals held a second day of discussions inside the Vatican focusing on the future needs of the church. But the big decision about when to start the conclave to vote for a new pope has not been made.
There is no desire to rush things, but to take this time for discernment and reflection.
The Cardinals are also asking for information about how the Vatican is managed, saying they want to get to the bottom of corruption allegations.
I think the Cardinals feel confident that we'll get all the information that we need.
Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley believes the current talks may shorten the conclave.
To have enough discussions previous that when people go to the conclave, they already sort of have a pretty clear idea of who they're going to vote for.
Preparations for the conclave are well underway here in Vatican City. The Sistine Chapel, where the voting takes place, is now closed to the public. Crews need to install 2 stoves, one to burn the secret ballots, the other to produce the smoke once a pope is chosen. Workers will also need to set up desks for the cardinals.
And they will also probably do something in order to avoid interference or act of espionage.
Vatican security forces will sweep the Sistine Chapel for any hidden microphones, and jamming devices will be installed under a false floor to detect cell phones or other electronic devices. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Vatican City.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is calling for urgent action to stop the spread of drug-resistant bacteria in hospitals across the country. The group of bacteria called CRE kills up to half the patients who get it in their bloodstreams. Marley Hall reports from New York.
Infections from a group of bacteria called CRE are rising dramatically at hospitals across the country. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says CRE bacteria have become increasingly resistant to antibiotics over the past decade, leaving infected patients no good treatment options.
We know that these infections are very lethal. Among the patients who get serious infections with these CRE bacteria, they get them in their bloodstream, for example, roughly half of those patients may die.
The CDC says during the first half of last year, almost 200 healthcare facilities treated at least one infected patient. The people who are most at risk are patients in intensive care or those receiving chemotherapy or organ transplants. So far, 42 states have reported CRE infections. Most are here in the Northeast. CRE infections are still relatively uncommon, but the CDC says hospitals need to act now to prevent the problem from getting bigger.
It's careful attention to washing your hands, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, wearing gowns and gloves when you're caring for these patients, cleaning equipment carefully.
Health experts say identifying which patients have the bacteria and making sure healthcare workers don't inadvertently spread it from patient to patient are 2 key steps to take. Marley Hall for CBS News, New York.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Judson.
Thanks a lot, Caitlin. Now Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. So Justin, first off, we have to talk about some of the cancellations for tonight's games.
That's right. A couple of Trojan teams were supposed to take place in some games. One a conference game, the other one just the in-state rival. But due to some weather issues, those will have to be rescheduled. But I'll get to that more here in sports. Okay. Well, head baseball coach Bobby Pierce has pretty much seen it all his 11-year tenure here at Troy. He's experienced last-inning rallies, monster home runs, and even a couple of SportsCenter-worthy diving catches. However, this past weekend series for Pierce, he experienced a heartwarming moment for his first time in his career. having his grandson in attendance at a game.
Yeah, this was his first weekend. He's now 2-0. I don't think he came out Friday. So he's now 2-0. It's a pretty good record for him.
After picking up the series victory in front of his grandson, Pierce and the Trojans turned their attention to in-state opponent Samford. The Trojans entered the matchup at 8-3 on the season and riding a 2-game win streak. Danny Collins is having a season to remember so far, as he is currently batting over .500 with 4 home runs and an OPS of 1.663%. He has also been named Sunbelt Conference Player of the Week on Monday for the second time in 3 weeks. But as we said, due to inclement weather, tonight's game with the Bulldogs has been moved and will be rescheduled for a later date. And while Mother Nature has struck again, and just like it has been in 2013, the Trojans softball team is its victim. Scheduled to play a doubleheader in Murfreesboro, inclement weather has reared its ugly head once again and moved the 2-game affair to tomorrow beginning at noon. The Trojans are coming off a second-place finish in the Renegade Classic, in which they fell to Florida State 8-0 in the championship game of that tournament. Troy holds a 30-18 advantage in the series record over the Blue Raiders and hope to pick up 2 more victories tomorrow in Tennessee. And both Trojan teams return to the court today for a match against Jacksonville State. The women's tennis team enters this match at 6-4 on the season and riding a 2-game win streak. And the men's side, which enters at 2-6, ended their season-high 6-match losing streak this past Saturday as they downed Nicholls State 6-1. The matches are currently taking place at the Lunsford Tennis Complex, and we will have full details of those matches tomorrow night on TrojanVision Nightly News. And while it's not time for football season just yet, yesterday Veterans Memorial Stadium was filled with fans, athletes, and scouts at Troy University's Pro Day. Danielle Percival has a story.
While it may not be the NFL Combine, Pro Day gives former players the chance to work out in front of NFL scouts and showcase their abilities. Over 20 former Trojans participated in this year's Pro Day, looking to leave it all on the field and aim for the pros.
I think we got close to 18 scouts here, and it was a good turnout and a good day. Our guys that need to show up and do what they needed to do did, and a lot of them helped themselves. And as far as the draft status, and I think it was a good and successful day.
Since the tests measure different abilities, players' strengths lie in different areas. But for some former Trojans, their top numbers came in areas they were not expecting.
My reps, it surprised me because I thought I was going to get lower than what I actually got. I got 21. I thought I was going to get like 15 or 16.
My 40, they said they got me at a 4.47 as my lowest time, so I feel pretty good about that, especially, like I said, at my size.
And my agent told me I did good. I felt like I did good. Jumped, ran good. I did as expected. I'm disappointed I didn't get to run my 4.3, but I still ran 4.4, so that's faster than average.
For these players, Pro Day is more than just an opportunity to impress scouts. It's also the chance to land a job.
It's a big job interview, and a lot of people might take it for granted, but I honestly think that a lot of people out here work their butt off a couple of weeks, couple months, whatever to do good.
This is crucial. For anything, as far as how you dress, how you present yourself, how you test, they look at everything.
Everybody keeps saying it's your interview, it's your interview. I go to any interview, you can go out and take your shirt off and just do what you do. Like just be blessed and go out and do everything. And I hope they enjoy me. They been telling me good things, and I hope they follow through. And I hope somebody give me a chance.
The NFL draft is still over a month away, so players still have the opportunity to improve before the day the phones start ringing. Danielle Percival, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
Well, the NFL draft will begin on Thursday, April 25th, and continue through Saturday, the 27th. So Judson, Caitlin, it's a big hit. They couldn't play the softball or baseball games today. Hopefully with the weather clearing up like that, the softball team will be back in action though tomorrow. In baseball, they will schedule that. Take on some teams this coming up weekend.
Yeah, and if anyone can get out and support the softball team in Tennessee, that would be pretty good. I'm sure they could use it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Justin. And coming up in Trojan Talk, meet your newly elected SGA president, Cody Farrell.
Plus, how will the dreary conditions today affect temps for the rest of the week, Jamarlo?
Well, the surprising showers we've seen today will not stay in our area much longer, but I have more coming up next in weather.
from the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University. You're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarlo Phillips joins us for a look at weather.
So Jamarlo, I noticed that the rain's kind of picked back up this afternoon. Will it be raining the rest of tonight or even into tomorrow?
Well, those thunderstorms are going to stick around for tonight and hopefully for the rest of the week. We should be experiencing some clear weather, but I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Taking a look across Bibb Gray's quad right now, we can see that the sun has not yet set. Those few showers we've seen today, hopefully they'll be out of our area as we go throughout the rest of the week. But as we go into our current temperatures right now, we can see that our skies are we have those windy conditions right now, thunderstorms as well as those light showers we've been seeing throughout the day. Temperature at 67 degrees, dew point at 57 degrees, humidity at 70%. Barometer reading 29.86 inches and going steady with our winds coming from the west at about 26 miles per hour. Going into today's stats, today we were able to see a high of 63 degrees, a low of 37. We can see that there was a really low chance of rain in our area for today. Sun rose this morning at 6:05 a.m. and will set at 5:45, has already set at 5:45 p.m. Going to our temperatures across the state right now, we can see that across the state right now, we're seeing those cloudy temperatures across the state. Mobile sitting here at 63 degrees with partly cloudy skies. As we move into Troy, we can see that we have those light showers, 63 degrees in Troy right now. Montgomery, 59, Birmingham, 49 degrees, and Huntsville at 41 degrees with those cloudy skies as well. Going into our current temperatures across the southeast, we can see that we're still experiencing those high 50, low 60 degree temperatures across Alabama and Georgia right now. But as we go take a look at temperatures across the United States, we can see in the northern portion of the United States, they're experiencing some very cooler temperatures, 17s and in the mid to high 20s. Going into our current surface map, we can see that we have a few high pressure systems across the United States right now. We also have a cold front that's moving down southward into the Texas area and pushing up into the western portions of Alabama and the northern portions of Georgia. Taking a closer look at that, we can see that this cold front right here that we've seen throughout the day has pushed this rain that we've seen, those light showers that we were able to see just a couple hours ago. It's pushed up northward into the northern portions of Georgia and South Carolina. As we take a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we can see that we may still be experiencing a slight chance of showers, maybe under an inch of rain, but nothing too much to be worried about. Hopefully that this rain will move out our area before tonight's over with. Taking a look at Wednesday's forecast. Wednesday, we can see that our area will be clear of rain. We can see that northern portions of Alabama will be experiencing some windy conditions, and also for tomorrow, we may be experiencing some very breezy winds for tomorrow as well. Taking a look at Thursday's forecast, our area will remain clear. Taking a look at Friday, our area will remain clear as we go into Friday as well. But as we go into Saturday's forecast, we can see that Texas and the northern portions of Texas will be experiencing about an inch of rain or even higher. But as we go into tonight's forecast, partly cloudy skies. Going into tomorrow's forecast, very windy, so make sure you keep a light jacket on hand. Winds come from the northwest about 20 miles per hour with a high of 55 degrees. And as we go into our 4-day forecast, we can see that on Wednesday, windy conditions. But as we go into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Caitlin and Judson, we should be expecting some clear and sunny weather. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamarlo.